What's up, Illumineers? Welcome back to another Lorcana video here on Inkspot Games. My name is Matt, and to celebrate the upcoming release of Into the Inklands, we're going to be going over some really good staple cards that you should consider playing in your deck, and we're going to be going over 2 cards in every color. Now, we're not doing any of like the big super legendary cards or anything like that, or those super powerful ones. These are more of the kind of under the radar tech cards that you can slot into your deck that is good against certain matchups, different matchups depending on what deck you're playing. And these are cards you should definitely consider running for each color. Again, we're going to be going over 2 cards in each color, so that is 12 cards total, and these are all new cards from Into the Inklands. But before we get to that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. The channel keeps growing. We just reached 100 followers on Twitter. That's really cool, and we keep getting more and more subscribers every day to the channel. So please be sure to subscribe, like the video, discuss, share with your friends, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. Alright, so the first color we're going to be looking at in this video is Emerald, of course, one of my favorite colors in the game. And Emerald actually received a lot of pretty good cards in this set, but 2 definitely stuck out to me. Now, it is worth noting that for each color, there could be more than 2 good tech cards. For some, there could barely be 2 good tech cards, but we wanted to keep that 2 just for consistency's sake. And these are 2 cards that I feel like can make a really big impact. The first card we're looking at here is the new Ursula, which is an inkable 2 cost, 1/3, can quest for 1 lore, and reads: when you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a song card of your choice. Not their choice, your choice. Very big distinction there. So this is an insta staple in Emerald. Like, should probably even be considered playing 4 of this card. This card is crazy. So many top decks use songs and are very reliant on songs at any point of the game, right? Early, middle, or late game. And the fact that this card can just rip a song out of their hand is insane. You know, be prepared, goodbye. Grab your sword, goodbye. Any of the kind of lower cost songs like Let the Storm Rage On, Raging Fire, all that stuff. All these songs are just gone. Even the good new songs that have come out in this recent set, this card just gets rid of them. And just knowing that you can topple over someone's entire strategy with this card by getting rid of a huge blowout song is massive, especially in Emerald specifically, because Emerald has a lot of bouncing in its use. Like, you know, you can use a bibbidi bobbidi boo to bounce this back to your hand, replay it, and rip possibly a second song. At worst, this card gives you knowledge of your opponent's hand, which is also very helpful in how you proceed with your game. So this is just a great card all around, and I think is a must include in any Emerald deck, no matter what you're trying to achieve. And obviously it can combo with cards like Prince John or different things that also benefit from your opponent discarding as well. Just great card overall, and yeah, definitely consider playing this one. The second Emerald card we're going to look at is one that's kind of flying under the radar a little bit. Some people are starting to pick up on its usefulness, but like, I don't know. I think we should be seeing more of this in Emerald decks. This is Cloudkicker, a 3 cost inkable, which is big, 2/2, can quest for 1 lore, and reads: when you play this character, you may return chosen opposing character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand. So this is almost like a lower cost genie that's also in Emerald. And just again, board control this early in the game, especially when you're going up against decks that rely on characters to shift and all that. Disrupting that is such a big deal. And obviously playing him on turn 3, if he's in your opening hand, your opponent will more than likely have something on the board with only 2 attack, so you will get use out of this card. Also, he's inkable. You know, something that's really underrated about this card, and this is just an underrated card as a whole, in my opinion. I think Emerald players are going to be playing this more and more and more, and I think it's definitely something to consider just for the early removal aspect of it. All right, the next color we are going to do is Ruby. Ruby has some good locations. It's pretty decent. You know, there's not a ton of like insane cards in Ruby. There's the I don't know. There's a couple like good. There's the good legendary, all that stuff, and you know, Ruby's decent this set. But a good tech card in Ruby, I think, is this Stitch Little Rocket. 2 cost, non-inkable, 3 attack, 1 defense, can quest for 1 lore, and this card has Rush. So, where I think this card is good is 1, obviously taking out some of your opponent's early game lower cost cards, or 2, getting some damage onto their locations, which can also be big. You know, the 1 defense isn't that big a deal. Like, this guy is essentially just a removal piece, basically. And, you know, him not being inkable isn't that big a deal. Only costs 2, can quest if need be. But again, I think about the really good shiftable characters that your opponent is trying to set up early in the game, and Stitch being able to take them out can really slow your opponent down. I love cards like this. Again, it's just another piece of removal in Ruby. But again, he only has 1 defense, so he's not going to be on the board for long. But if you're able to use this to kind of bring the final blow to a location or a key shift target for your opponent, then you're going to be getting some really good value out of this card for sure. The next card in Ruby we're going to be looking at is one of my personal favorites, and this is Prince Eric, Expert Helmsman. 4 cost, non-inkable, 2/2, can quest for 2 lore, and his effect reads, when this character is banished, you may banish a chosen character. So this card obviously reads pretty straightforward. It not being inkable is fine. 2/2 stats is fine, but that'll be important in a second. Can quest for 2, which is good, but he can actually be a really big blowout card. For example, if you use him to challenge your opponent's character, he probably won't survive because he's very weak. But if he's banished, then you can either banish the character you challenge or banish another character. You know, so let's say you're able to banish one of your opponent's characters with a challenge with him. He would probably be banished too, which means you can banish a second character with just 1 guy, which is crazy. You know, another really good combo with him is using Teeth and Ambitions, dealing 2 damage to him to banish him, 2 damage to one of your opponent's characters, and hopefully banish that, and then use his effect to banish another character. There's a lot of really good uses for him, and the fact that he quests for 2 can make him a pain. He'll make your opponent kind of decide, well, do I want to leave him on the board while he still quests for 2, or do I need to get rid of him and basically sacrifice another character that's on my board? And who knows, that character can be one of their big targets or big win conditions or something like that. He can make your opponent's life pretty difficult and their decision making pretty difficult. So I love this card, one of my favorite cards in the set, and I'm definitely going to try to find use for him in any Ruby strategy for sure. Alright, moving on to Amber, and I'm just going to be honest, this is one of the best cards in the set, in my opinion. One of the best songs in the set, just one of the best cards overall, and that's the Bear of Necessities. A 2 inkable song, which is already a great start. Chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character card of your choice. So this card's very similar to the Emerald Ursula, but better, because it's not just a song they're getting rid of, it's any non-character card. Like, the possibilities are massive. and he's a song, so you can do this for free. And this card is relevant at any point during the game. You can get rid of an important item that might be in their hand, an important location that's in their hand, something. And this card is just so good. Is an insta staple in any Amber strategy. Like 4 of, you have to have this card. Like an automatic staple. It's so good. And again, people were getting kind of afraid of like, oh my gosh, our song's too good. There's so many good blowout cards that people have that kind of make things irrelevant. Cards like this and cards like the Ursula balance it out and get rid of those cards. So you gotta run it. You gotta run this card. I think it's fantastic. The fact that it's a song and it's inkable and only costs 2 just make it that much better. You should definitely be running this card if you're playing Amber. The next Amber card we're going to be looking at is Piglet, a 2-cost inkable 2/2, can quest for 1, but his effect reads, while you have 2 or more other characters in play, this character gets +2 lore. You know, the whole idea behind Amber is kind of filling up the board, so there's not many situations where this effect is going to be live. And the fact that he only costs 2 and he's inkable, if you're playing an Amber deck, you know, whether it be like a Steel Song or something with the Rockstar Stitch that has a lot of characters on the board, getting 3 from an inkable 2 is really good. I love Piglet, one of my favorite cards in this set. So you should definitely be considering running Piglet in your Amber deck. Alright, we're going to move on to Sapphire here, and our first card is actually a location. That's Motunui Island Paradise, a location, costs 1 to move, has 5 blocking, is a 2 inkable, gets a lore, and its effect reads, whenever a character is banished while here, you may put that card into your inkwell face down and exert it. Just a very good card. The fact that it gives you lore, and can fill up your inkwell is so good. I think you can find a spot for this in really any Sapphire strategy. You know, I know some people might not want to run lands, but this is definitely locations, but this is definitely one to consider. I've been playing around with this card, and like the fact that you're punishing your opponent for challenging your guys and putting them into your inkwell, just filling up your inkwell, really adds to that ramp strategy that Sapphire has. Plus, obviously, with like the legendary Grammatala, you would gain a lore doing that. Just a very good land, very versatile land, and I think synergizes so well with any Sapphire strategy. So the next Sapphire card we're going to look at is another underrated one, I think, in my opinion, and that's Wendy Darling. Is a 3 inkable, 3/1, can quest for 2, has ward, which is nice, and has support. Now, giving another character +3 from a support is really good. Plus, she quests for 2 and only quests 3. I think you're getting pretty good value out of this card. Like, it's not like you're playing this and you're sacrificing, oh, she doesn't really quest for a lot of lore or anything like that. Like, no, she's good. And she has ward, which is nice too. So, like, if you're trying to get rid of a location, right, and you quest with her and give a character +3 attack, in a lot of cases, you can get rid of that location. So this card does see utility. And again, I think it's one of those like kind of underrated cards that not a lot of people are talking about, and I think should be seeing more play. And you know, I'm really excited to kind of experiment with this and see how it does. So yeah, definitely consider running this in your Sapphire deck. Alright, moving on to Amethyst, and obviously in Amethyst, kind of the talk of the town is the new Jafar, but like I said, we're not really looking at legendaries in this video, but we are going to look at this song, which is The Boss is on a Roll, a 3 inkable song, and it says look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put any of them on the top or bottom of your deck in any order, gain 1 lore. Obviously this is nice because like it's not forcing you to just put them all on the top of the deck or all on the bottom. You kind of get to choose. Plus gaining a lore is nice out of this. That's a nice little added thing here, and you're manipulating your deck to draw what you want to draw, especially in Amethyst where there's so much draw power. this is better than, like, let's say a Yzma, where it's just like you look at the card and you choose whether it stays on top. Like, no, it leaves your options wide open, and you're manipulating and controlling what you're drawing in your Amethyst deck. So I like this card a lot. I think it's really, really good in Amethyst. The next Amethyst card we're going to look at is Magic Carpet. 2 inkable, 2/1, has evasive, can quest for 1 lore, and its ability is you exert this to move a character of yours to a location for free. Now, this can be big, especially like depending on what location you're running. I know Amethyst has some good ones. And the fact that this is evasive means it's going to stay on the board for a while, unless your opponent specifically has another evasive character. Or like your opponent's using a piece of spot removal on it, which is taking away from other characters you might have. But if you're running locations, moving there for free, especially ones where it costs a little more to move them, can be big because you have more management of your resources. And again, I think the fact that it's evasive is nice. So just a very, very good utility card to kind of manage your ink and save your ink, and be able to kind of set up your location-based boards much quicker, and much easier. And last but not least, we're going to be looking at Steel. And man, as usual, there was so much to pick from when it comes to Steel, but these cards stuck out to me the most. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen this already. That is And Then Along Came Zeus, which is a song for non-inkable and simply reads, deal 5 damage to a chosen character or location. This card is going to get rid of most characters, especially at this point in the game. And dealing 5 damage to a location can either get rid of that location or will make it very weak and easy to get rid of via a challenge. Staple. This card in Steel is an absolute staple, especially song-based decks. There's really not a ton to say about this one. Like, it's just another really good kind of damage dealer from Steel. It's a song, so you can sing it with any of your singer 4s, or you can sing it with any of your singer 5s. Just, man, great card. Great card. And the final card we're going to look at today is Rise of the Titans, a 3 inkable action that simply reads, banish a chosen location or item. Those locations can be sneaky. Those locations can be game changing. So being able to get rid of them, running a couple of these in your deck brings you a lot of utility. At worst, it's inkable, so you can use it as ink, which is fine. But if your opponent has, a location that's very central to their strategy, and this just, boom, gets rid of it for only 3, I mean, I think that's really good value. So in any Steel deck, this is also a card to consider. Alright, so that is the video, and like I said, some of these colors can have more cards that can be put in this kind of tech card category, but I kept it to 2 for consistency's sake. Let me know what other cards in each color are good tech cards and you think will make a big impact on the game moving forward. Yeah, so that's all I got for you today. Again, please be sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And Illumineers, I'll see you on the next one. Later.